Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. With much of 2020 spent in Metro Vancouver and sitting at home in Toronto, Ellen and I decided to borrow a family member's car, since he really shouldn't be going out on transit right now for non-essential reasons, and travel along Eglinton Avenue to see what the progress on the Eglinton Crosstown subway and tramway construction was, given its original proposed opening date of September this year. This video will be part of a new series of videos that parallel our Building Toronto's Regional Rail series called Building Toronto's Rapid Transit. Let's get into it. Today's video starts at the western end of the line, near the Eglinton Crosstown's OMSF. Last time we were here, heavy construction was still going on the guideway, and Mount Dennis Station as well. Looking at things today, there's been a lot of progress. Subway platforms are mostly complete. Catenary wire has been strung up to the portal. The Kodak building's renos appear to be mostly complete. And canopies for the GO Regional and Up Express train platforms are coming into view. I also want to point out the spring tension catenary, which I looked up and is pretty neat to see. Traveling further west, we arrive at Keelsdale Station. Of all the stations we saw, Keelsdale seemed to be the furthest along. The station's entrances appear basically finished with glass and signs mostly up. All that seems left to do is landscaping. Next up was Caledonia Station. Caledonia was far less far along than Keelsdale, with lots of equipment up on site and work to be done still. However, work on the main entrance building was quite advanced. Unfortunately though, the GO station isn't under construction yet, as this is not part of the scope of the main subway construction project. Unfortunately, while Keelsdale and Caledonia had left us quite optimistic, things changed drastically as we drove past Fairbank, Oakwood, and Cedarvale, known to most as Eglinton West, where the stations were still basically entirely below ground level. This is definitely cause for concern, as past experience in Toronto has shown us that stations are usually completed some time before railway testing is. I should also point out that while the community-oriented names may seem like a nice touch, it does make it hard to navigate to stations along the line though, with stations not following the long-held convention of being named after an adjacent street. We got out of the car to take a look at Forest Hill, and it was more of the same. As you can see, there's a lot of work left to complete at the station here. And continuing west along Eglinton, it was the same story at Chaplin, Avenue, Eglinton Yonge, Mount Pleasant, Leaside, and Laird. It's not really surprising at all that the line won't be done this year looking at this, and furthermore, I think even the mid-2022 timeline is going to be tight. Continuing on, we get to the line's surface section. To streetcar and LRT separatist credit, the guideway itself does not look like those used on the Toronto streetcar, as tracks are not embedded. As we come to Sunnybrook Park Stop, we see our first completed shelters. They are nice, if a little minimal for my taste. Nonetheless, some of these sections of track are said to be filled with grass, which really excites me. Shortly after passing under the CP North Toronto subdivision, the tracks for the tramway dive back underground for Science Centre Station at Don Mills Road. This is one of the largest stations on the line and provides both a really attractive but simple entrance pavilion and one of Eglinton's largest bus terminals. Continuing east, we see more surface stops and mostly completed rail and guideway, with redevelopments dotting the landscape as we pass through it. Near Sloan, we also see a surface pocket track, which is pretty cool. continue east, we see a number of stops and shelters built up, and we get out to take a look at one more of them, this time at Golden Mile. It's neat to see the orange color of the line on the edges of the shelters as well as the line diagram. It's also nice to see how the service direction is inset into the side of the shelters in both English and French. As we continue a little bit further east, the line goes back underground, and we take a look at the new entrance pavilion for the crosstown at Kennedy Station. We recently covered the new GO platforms in another video, so check that out in the cards. The pavilion is still under construction, so we can't get super close, but it does share the iconic white look of the other stations on the line. All in all, we're super excited to see how far the line has progressed since the last time we got out to see the sights. A number of stations on the subway section are pretty far along, with many more under heavy construction. On the surface section, work is progressing really well and should be mostly complete by the end of the year, which lines up with what we saw with most of the surface stops having shelters in and catenary already being laid. Anyways, thanks for watching our first episode of Building Toronto's Rapid Transit. If you liked it, leave a like and consider subscribing. Stay tuned for a bit more of an opinion video on what I saw today, and I'll see you in the next video.